Yeah, it makes complete sense to put two color casters in a league where we need two play-by-plays instead of two color casters. I don't know how this ended up being the schedule, but here we are, Tim. I guess we've been thrust into a position that we would have never guessed before.
Yeah, but that means it's just a double. It's a double. Anything you can do, I can do better. Color casters, we can play-by-play better even than our own play-by-play casters.
Yeah. Play-by-plays are the supports of the casting world. They can be replaced by anybody of any other position.
Absolutely. I mean, color casting is just play-by-play casting, but hard.
Yeah.
Carrix is gonna kill us both.
Yeah, but it's all in good fun. Plus, they're not here, so
yeah,
you know.
And at the same time, GE is also going for anything you can do, I can do better, with picking the Aatrox into Kiaya's Gangplank, and then at the same time, Blaze is picking up the Corki for himself, and bot lane back to his old ways. And honestly, going back for the spot lane, I mean, it worked in lane. They got the pressure down, they got the aggression down, and Slater on the Kai'Sa very comfortable, so I think that is still a fine bot lane for them to pick. And now the team comp around it also has more scaling, has more options with the Corki, of course, and a good engage with the Hecarim. I personally do really like the Hecarim. I think specifically on the next patch where we see a decent amount of more jungle bans coming, or jungle nerfs coming in, specifically Hecarim will come back. Now we're one patch ahead of that, so it's a bit more surprising here, but still he has shown his head here and there, and I think he's definitely going to be one of the guys coming back into the meta.
Yeah, I get to use a little bit of a milky stat here, but I actually know that it has a 100% win rate on this patch specifically. I'm pretty sure it's also Peanut that played it. Now, I know you have had some adversity, very deserving adversity to the LCK drafting style, but at minimum, it has been used as a specific pick on this patch before. Yeah. As you see that Levi and Cotty, they make an attempt against Blazes. All he has to do is press his W, and he's out of dodge pretty quickly right there. As you're seeing, Yijin also going for the full clear. He's up about a camp. He's going to have like both that and the Grump, the blue and the Grump at the same time, pretty much done. So he's going to have this moment in time where if Cotty's pushed up too far, you could gank for mid. And bottom lane, if the wave ends up bouncing here, maybe you could make a play for bottom side here if you're Yijin, because you're going to have a moment of reprieve to be able to work with.
Yeah, and especially you do have the bot lane Pyro here and the B-up who can easily move, so you should get the bot crab easily. But he decides against it. He's actually not going for it, and he's instead moving immediately towards topside, maybe punishing Kiaya, because both top lanes are really, really low, and he could get a great gank. Wait, he's moving. What?
Yeah, this is beyond interesting. I guess the thought process is if they saw the gank through mid happen, maybe he's timing this with Levi where he's like, okay, the Lee Sin won't be done with the camp until I redeploy. Okay, now what are you doing? All right, he turned around for no reason. Okay, my thought was like, if he ends up getting in bottom brush and Levi shows on bottom, he has an entire extra bit of items because he gets his boots, he gets his crystal, and then he's just stronger than anybody else in this lane right now, even beyond just being like Hecarim, but he also just has items. But now, multiple times, this has been a problem where, okay, here's the engagement. We're seeing a little bit of something come through. Cleanse is burnt to make sure there's nothing else that comes out. BOB, look for something with the E. Yijin is going to be able to bounce back. Levi, who has already burnt the flash in the grand scheme of things, is Slater picks up pull number 1. And despite Yijin's best efforts, the play actually works out.
I am so confused. I mean, I know what has happened, but they're going for it again. B-up is going in. Under turret?
He gets pulled under tower. Yeah, the Handshake's going to get him there, and that's Style who's going to fake up 1, and that reset actually is going to lead to Slater being in a rough situation. He gets to turn and throw in damage. Please, throw me in damage, as the W is going to be out there, not going to be able to kill Yijin before anything else, as he's going to clean up on this Hecarim. On the other side of the map, I believe Kiai also got a solo kill against Coded, so it ends up being, grand scheme of things, a 3-for-3, where GAM, they did lose first blood, so that is where GE's gold advantage comes into, but man, what happened? Everything about this was so sloppy.
Okay. I think the action is going on, but yeah, this is top lane. We see how Kiaya gets caught. I mean, he probably just double barrels and flashes on him, I guess.
Okay.
Coded actually goes for it.
Proc. Okay, yeah, he flashed away into a barrel. I guess the level 5 advantage also helped because that heal definitely did quite a bit. Tragic. Yeah, trial by fire minions. Just what he's supposed to do. Coded just over-breaching his damage threshold right there.
And then to the bot lane play. So why the bot lane play is really bad, even though it worked out, is because he simply could have gone top lane, punished Kiaya for free, and the bot and I would say that's a good play if GE's bot wave was actually bad. But as it was bouncing, GE's bot lane could have literally chilled, did nothing here, just waited out Levi, and then you would have traded crabs, got a top kill, and another full clear off with Hecarim. And now he'll flip it on bot lane, You give, I think, 2 kills to the Jinx, who really shouldn't get 2 kills.
So I think also in the midst of that, there was one auto that ended up getting missed by Style that could have been used because he was trying to run away at the time, waiting for the traps to like undo, and he couldn't actually get out fast enough. And it led to Style being able to deliver 1 or 2 more auto attacks, and like he had just a sliver of health left. So like there's so many little bits here because again, Yijin could have been there faster. He could have turned and gone the other side. Like you said, they could have just waited for their wave to bounce and then punished the top lane where like you're trying to get coded ahead. But again, they opt for the strategy that ends up being just a 3-for-3 as BOB, again, just continues to try to find aggression. Elio is always ready for it as damage in the top lane. Both ultimates burnt on both sides, both flashes burnt on both sides, but Levi is here for Kiaya to be able to have some assistance. Q is going to miss, but only barely, as Levi has to get shoved out of this bad situation, but at minimum, the support is here for Kiaya to be able to crash this wave.
Yeah, I think Coded can step up, and he will step... Oh, he's maybe even walking around, but Levi is smelling blood in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Levi.
Okay.
Oh, wait, Kiaya is dead.
Actually, okay, Kiaya does die. Q is going to tag 1 more kill, as Levi's going to be able to get at least the response right there. As also, it was like Coded didn't get shoved off the wave. He ended up being there for at least for the experience. As mid lane, Kadi has to pop the ultimate just to not die. Yijin's with in-range Ignite, I think is going to do as BOB is going to pick up that kill as well. As, you know, GE finding strikes across the map, found that one topside play, found some bot line plays for Slater, found that mid lane play right there off the back of Levi showing on topside. I mean, at least they're punishing some of this early game now. Oh, actually, ultimate right to the bottom. Like, Elio's going to get shoved out from underneath the tower. That's just a dead Elio. It's going to be Slater who's going to grab that kill up really, really easily. And there's reinforcement also, so Style can't really be here for all that long because BOB is going to be behind the tower. And he's stuck in place now. The only hope he has is for Kadi to show up, but that's about all he's got. As Kadi's still over a tower away, Dodge going to come through. Q would have almost certainly ruined this. Thankfully, BOB decided to miss that one for his teammates, as Slater is going to pick up the kill.
Rebel, please help me.
I don't know what's going on right now, man. This is,
please hold me.
On this side of it before. I've never been on this side of it before. It's just constant like movement and constant action.
Yeah, I understand.
So lost.
I understand VCS aggression, right? Like they are psychopaths, all of them. That's fine. But the big question I have is why this random aggression? Like none of this aggression makes any sense. Like all of this is so predictable and shouldn't work. Like the top play where Levi just walks by like Aatrox, sees Coated moving in, and Kiaya still dies. Mm-hmm. Like how are these things happening? Like I'm used to German 3rd and 4th division, and like the macro is better there. What?
Sometimes, yeah. And also, like, that bottom side play, I mean, yes, you had Elio get picked off by the ultimate, but then for Style to stay there and to just try to punish with auto attacks and try to put the wave out, like, why are you staying there? Like, you could just leave. Instead, you bought time for BOB to show up and to be able to punish that bot side dive. And that's not even to talk about the fact that BOB almost ruined that by pulling him out of the tower range for Slater and for Yijin to be able to put damage into him, and almost certainly would have stalled that play to just complete uselessness. One way or another, though, we somehow flipped coins consistently and landed a point where now GE is up about 2,000 gold, have the first dragon of the game. At minimum, they've landed with some control, so I suppose all this coin flipping has led to somebody getting an advantage.
Yeah, and BOB going on Style. Style still has flash, so he should be fine. And I'm just
That's
confused.
an Akali flip if I've ever seen one before.
Yeah,
and PayPal Pike Q.
I mean, BOB is going for it again onto Levi, and that's a 3-4.
A little bit back and forth. Nice ultimate, kind of point blank from Yijin, actually, to separate out Levi from everybody else. As GAM not able to find a response. And then, okay, Kadi almost got disrupted up out of the E, but is able to kind of find the other side. As the other side of the fight, we're going to get CKI versus Coded. Can we see the gangplank pull anything? As Coded takes a good amount of damage. Trial by Fire is still there for Kiaya if you wanted to turn an auto attack. I felt like he had an option for that, but decided against it. Instead, just going to run out. Coded's wave is back by his own turret, so he can hold this here if he really, really wants to. But again, ultimately, GE feeling great inside of this game.
Yeah, and I feel like that was a really good play by Slater, moving into River there and having the peace of mind to be first before Kati, because he was laning against Kati at that point. And that just meant it was a 4v3, and Levi could be picked off easily. And now we're back to mid lane, back onto Kati, who still has ultimate.
Okay. we do see quite a bit of action. BOE not going to hit the hook coming out here, so it's just going to be a little bit of disengage as he just took care of the wave. Rift Herald to the bottom side going to be delivered for Style. Should be able to pick up 3 plates if he decided to switch his rocket form off. He probably could have got a 3rd plate right there, as Levi finding some aggression, but BOB is not going to be fast enough to be able to snag that one. Instead, Slater's just going to clean up the Rift Herald, and it's just going to be the 2 plates that get delivered into Style.
Yeah, and slowly the game is going back into normal paths. We still see a lot of fighting around topside specifically, and yeah, we're right back. But I think Kiaya should be fine.
Yeah, I feel like the barrel getting lost right there was something big to at least keep track of. The Kiaya isn't going to lose enough health. He's got the Corrupting Pot, he's got Grasp, he's got his W. Like, there's more than enough here to work with. In fact, if anything, I'd be a little bit more terrified if I were Coded, just not wanting to pressure into all this like kind of ambient healing. In fact, he's going to back off here. He's got coverage from VOB, so it's not going to be anything too insane. Where did Rift Herald go? I feel like we missed that in the mix of all this that's been happening so far in the game. I think Rift Herald is in somebody's inventory, but they just got put on bottom side. My bad.
Yeah, Levi just put it bot while another fight in topside river.
Lost. Okay, Kadi not going to go down immediately. That's going to be a nice kick from Levi to be able to find a big shutdown onto Yijin. That's going to be everything here. Okay, over the wall, BOB pulling in Levi for purposes over top of the wall, just making sure that he knows who's boss right there. And I think that's about all. Top control of river is something to pay attention to, because again, Levi is clearing out some wards right now. They've got Elio here. They could play into topside right now, and there's no movement backwards from Coded, who's only just now going to spot Levi potentially. If he gets caught by a barrel, there's some problems.
Oh, Kiaya might be in trouble. Has to flash.
Yeah, so right there, I think it was Kiaya trying to goad in Coded just a little bit, but just doesn't work, because again, he doesn't have to. Plus, he has all that extra healing from like the combination of the ultimate. So now back to bottom side, another missed hook from BOB. That one at least aimed in the direction of Style to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I understand GE's game plan now. I really, I think I figured it out. I think Biop is pressing Q on cooldown, running at enemy, and either they get killed or they die. That's game plan.
Okay. Oh, hey, look at that. On cooldown. Wait, what just blocked that W? Or that Q?
Nothing. I think he shorted it.
Just shorted it. Okay. Well, yeah, that's just BOB, who could have maybe pulled Levi, so he would have had a possibility. Ultimate into the bottom side. Will they get it? Oh, traded. I thought it was actually going to end up reviving, Jinx right there, but unfortunately, Styles not going to be able to do so. Slater, he's still alive. He's still got more than enough health as they're able to pull that one out, as Slater has gotten so much more additional kind of support after last game. They saw what happened, and now the Kaisa is just absolutely terrifying after all this additional gold that she's picked up in the laning phase, making sure that Style and Elio know who's boss inside of this game.
Yeah, and he's also the person with the cleanse, right? So he's pretty much safe against Kati. He is the one target Kati can't really go on. And it's again Biop just running at enemy, trying to kill enemy. And it works out for them in this case. A nice E-flash here from him to kill out Elio. And then, of course, the W saves a bit of time, but it is half a second too late for Sai to actually get the kill. And Slater finishes Elio off. So, again, good play here from the GE bot lane. And I think, again, we said it in draft already, repicking this bot lane really isn't the issue. You just have to change your playstyle, and I think specifically with Hecarim, you have a much easier time forcing things than you had with the Qiyana.
Yeah, it also feels like, to me at least, that like every time we get into a Hecarim meta, every jungler that plays Hecarim just immediately stops ganking. But when we finally get it out of meta, or we get it like in a position where like maybe teams aren't prepared for it, that's when it starts to get aggressive. And so we've got like 60% kill participation, a lot of plays in the bottom side river specifically for Yijin. Package gets dumped by Blazes just to try to push Kadia, and that's BOB. Again, on cooldown, that Q is being burnt. They do have the damage that Sony's going to get burnt from Kadia as well, as he's still under a little bit of threat. Levi is going to be able to come in and make sure that BOB is not able to put any additional pressure on Akadi, as it's just free health dropped off the Lissandra, free pushback for Blazes, and the Dragon picked up for their second of the game on the side of the Geniuses.
Yeah, and coming back to your point about Hecarim, I think that's a fun fact, because Hecarim is really good at punishing people who are overextending, right? Who are standing too far up into the lane. And I think that's something that people are keenly aware of whenever he's meta. That you can't step up in your lane, you have to be in your own half, so you can't be ganked by the Hecarim. But once he falls out of meta a bit, people are like, I can walk up, there's nothing that can happen to me, nothing bad is ever gonna happen to me. And then suddenly Hecarim comes in and runs you down, even at your own turret. Suddenly you get run down the entire lane because he's so fast. So I think that's something that, yes, Hecarims could be playing more aggressive in the metas where he's actually good, but I think it's also something that people are just not remembering how strong he is at finding those ganks. And again, Biop with a hook.
Okay. E was used to try to escape. The stun comes through, but unfortunately not able to use the ultimate in time to be able to drop down Elio. Especially because the W got dumped into Sal, so there would have just been an immediate kill coming through as Yijin comes out of top rush, finds a way to get Kiaya pushed back into Coda. Nice ultimate used as well to fear him right back into the rest of it. Levi is here for the time being. Ultimate's going to get used. Yijin is not dead quite yet. He just now drops down. Slater's here as well for the support. He's going to try to find Kiaya, but there's 4 members right here. You have to be really terrified. Slater's got the damage to maybe run this out, but he does not have the support of the rest of his team as Coded has to leave right now, but Slater's going to step back up because, again, he's got more than enough damage to make this work. Ultimate's going to go into style. That's going to be that. Blazes is, on the backside. Can he find actually a single kill as they're going to deny him 1? They're going to deny him 2. He's not going to hit anything. Elio's going to be under the tower, but they're not going to find another one either. As 3 members waltz out with like 10% health maximum as Blazes can't clean any of them. Instead, it's just style going down to Slater.
Yeah, it all starts with Biop just running it down for no reason at all. I mean, he literally ran into mid lane and tried to fight a 2v2, where Blazes basically immediately just ran out. While we see the top lane play, which is a follow-up, where Aegian basically does the same thing as Biop in the mid lane. And basically, like, the crazy thing about this is that Hecarim actually makes Coded miss his Q and his W. So that's not good. And then the chase down, and of course Slater gets the 1 kill onto Style, but look at Blazes now. He flashes forward, he hits 1 rocket, he misses the big one, and then he misses another one. I mean, and then he actually hits on Elio, but Elio has too much HP, and Blazes is dead.
Yeah, it's tough. Blazes is dead. They just found the pick. The Rift Herald is going to go over to the side of Genius as they were able to sacrifice their mid laner for that. But again, Geniuses, they were so active, they were so aggressive to start off this game, and now they're trying to transition into more standard style play, and this is where GAM is starting to strike back as, all of a sudden, like, they're losing members, they're just, like, they're using so much and getting so little, as this was actually just good play from Kadi. He was able to find a way out of the brush, be able to get into the mid lane, being able to punish Blazes, who doesn't have that cleanse, thinks he has the safety, is not going to worry about anything else, as Yijin has ultimate, is going to look for a bit of a flank. Ultimate's going to go down, going to fear up Kadi, who does not have the ultimate himself to get out of the situation. BOB on the bottom side of the fight, trying to find some kind of flanking angle as Blazes is doing the damage on the front end, trying to drop damage into everybody else. Coded and Blazes now pushed out on the other side as BOB again is still just on the bottom side of this fight, looking for something to accomplish. Slater's also just now redeploying out from the bases. I believe Slater went down at some point there as well. So they do defend the mid tower, just the 1-for-1 grand scheme of things, and the tower not taken from the side of GAM.
This game is just too wild. I have no idea what's happening. But I think, really, I mean, what I was jokingly saying they're literally just playing for BO pokes. But, like, that's how the mid game is looking, right? Because in the early game, they were looking for BO pokes, and it works, right? Because Pyke's a great laning champion, you have so much damage, specifically level 6 with the Hecarim. You can basically take any fight with the Kai'Sa as well, but now suddenly going into mid game, they don't seem to have a game plan. There's no cohesion, there's no fighting together, they just react to whatever GAM is doing, and then when they don't have to react, Biop is running at enemy and pressing Q, and I just can't read anything here, because it's really bad.
This is the best part about the VCS, right? Which is that, like, there was a time and a place where this was every game for us, and now we've been spoiled by the fact that we have teams that actually kind of know what they're doing. We have development, we have coaches that are kind of understanding the meta better, they're understanding how to play the game better, right? And everything's developing a lot more, and then we still get these occasional games like this, just enough to satiate all of the rabid, like, VCS, like, 2 kill per minute fans that want as much action as possible, where this is just like, this is like good old-fashioned, we're going to throw every bit of hands we can into every single play, and that's all we're going to do, right? You're taking some of the top players on the server, and you're saying, we're going to hands check each other all game long until it's time for one of us to finally actually, like, win a game. As Dragon is going to get contested here, Yijin's in a good position on the backside of the fight to try to find an ultimate of some kind, as nobody else from the side of Genius is actually here in time to make this happen, as they're going to force into the bottom lane. They're going to prevent them from capping this Rift Herald who's going to run into mid. They're going to try to find Levi. Ultimate is used to try to get a bit of fear. That's a first kill from Slater. That package was also used in a fantastic area, but 2 members go down now from the side of the Geniuses. They're able to pick 2, as there's just no damage left. Nobody can really step up. They're terrified of what's going to happen. BOB finds 1. That's 2 as well. That's going to be a 3rd as well. Style, though, the W on him, and it's just enough to get him out of that rough situation as he finds a 3rd kill. That came down to just the absolute bare scraps minimum, but GE get felled by that dragon.
And again, why is GE fighting that? Either you go for the Dragon setup, you set up around it, and you fight it, because if you have a good setup with package and with a Hacker Room, you can easily fight this team fight, but you lose Drake, your Hacker Room is placing Herald, nobody knows why, and then suddenly you're jumping in 2-man while being completely zoned out by both Gangplank and Renata ultimate, so those were two really good uses to make sure the follow-up wasn't there, and then we see Slater going in, and it was really, really close. First kill comes in, and Style in the end gets a revive, and with that is then able to kill Slater and, yeah, get a revive for himself. So, in the end, it was a nice attempt, but macro-wise, it made no sense. None at all.
They were just trying to, I think, play for the fight. They weren't there fast enough to capitalize on it quick enough. And so then they're like, okay, we're trying to salvage what play we were looking to set up, where they wanted to play for the fight of the Dragon rather than playing for the Dragon objective itself to try to take advantage of our composition. It doesn't end up leading to anything too crazy. Levi underneath the tower gets kicked. Cody is just going to continue to CC him to death as best as possible. Goredrinker's not even able to be popped. I think it got popped really early right there, as it's going to be an easy dive setup here from Cody and from Levi, as they're able to make things work. At minimum, at least, it was scrappy. Like you said, they were fighting into a couple of really, really powerful ultimates, but outside of that, it didn't go as poorly as it probably should have from the side of Geniuses, as that was Yijin's ultimate pop right there, just trying to fish for Elio and Stylus. Everybody on GAM that's on the map right now, outside of Kiaya, are actually at the Baron pit ready and raring to go. There's pings right now from Genius, but they got to walk blind into the river for it.
Yeah, and all the TP comes in, so it's gonna be a 5v4. Coded has no TP.
Okay, Gangplank ultimate is used to just try to zone. That's the same with the Elio ultimate. That's going to be popped as well, as the Baron is going to go down. BOB immediately going to get taken out of this fight, as there's not much damage. Blazes and Slater are still alive, but they have to find a way to put damage into this team. They get one Baron buff out. His Style's going to find Blazes right there. Yijin has to frontline somehow. Slater's going to be in a really weird position as well, as he wants to look to assassinate somebody. E is going to be used to try to get onto Elio. That's going to be him finding Kiaya, as Coded on the backside of the fight is going to be able to find something as well. Elio is actually going to be a delivery system for Slater, who actually gets into the backline and fights 3 members of the team, as 4 I think have fallen now. I think Cody actually got out with the back just seconds ago. They're going to hunt for Levi, try to take off a 4th Baron buff from the team. He's going to try. He's going to get out with the Hextech Gate. No way. Coded just a little late on the cue to be able to find the knockup to prevent that from coming through, as it's GE who find themselves at least a solid bit of fight afterwards. Exhaust ultimate used, cleanse is used as well from Slater, and it's going to be him finding the turn kill onto Cody, as Levi's the only one left on the map right now. They're going to be able to break the mid tower. Slater is absolutely astrogliding on these fools.
I'm just not going to talk for the rest of the game.
It's so hard to figure this out. They're just like, they're gremlins, man. They only care about fighting consistently.
Yeah, it's like, okay, in the start of this game, like just play slow. Why is Biop like ulting in there? What is he doing? They just play slow around Slater, because Slater is an absolute monster. This guy is so insanely fed. Now Blazes gets run down, Style is doing whatever he wants, and then Slater, I don't even know what he does. I think he just walks into Kiaya and kills him.
Yeah. He didn't even see Elio. It's actually just Kiaya he was jumping on top of. I thought he had seen Elio and he was hunting for him, but that's not what happened. And then he delivers 2. Like I said, Slater's positioning was just to get into the middle of the fight. And it just throws this massive wrench into GAM's whole plan of like, okay, they got Baron, they kind of won the fight afterwards. And it's just Slater's individual veterancy and experience that turns the entire play on its head.
Yeah, and what is next? I mean, Drake is coming up in 30 seconds. Maybe we see a fight. This time it looks like GE actually wants to set up around it. They're all bot side, all ready to fight. Right, GAM is sitting in mid lane and shoving that mid wave out. And you have to have Coded and Yijin coming up here contesting this mid wave, because GAM can just leave. Yeah.
God, he's so high up. I guess they're just gonna take the 50-50. They're gonna say, okay, if you're not going to stop us, we're just going to push into your base. Now Cody wants to find something. He finds a massive engagement right there, as into the backline. Slater goes down immediately. That's all of the hopes and dreams of this team probably going out the window immediately. And it's we're just scattered to the wind right now. If you're on the side of the Geniuses, they're gonna try to cut the wave. Yijin should be able to grab that one without many ramifications. BOB is on the other side of the map as well. Blazes was probably gonna try in the bottom side, but it's not gonna work out. This is gonna be a Dragon. Again, gold advantage wise, it's still not huge. It's only about 1,000 for GAM at this point. But again, plays like that are just like, that's GAM saying, okay, if you're going to give us space, we're going to take it. And then just getting, kind of beaten down in response. Oh no, BOB and Cody actually going to cut them both off. It's going to be a really difficult place to be. The kick is going to be more than enough to actually find him, as BOB gets caught out on the other side of the map.
Man, get Slater out of GE prison. Like, I'm gonna take back my statement. If GE continues to play like this, I'm pretty certain they lose to AS.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, this is just like pure scrap. I think it's also a big difference because it's GAM they're playing against, and GAM does have hands
but
they've been known to in the past. So
but
like,
I mean, GE is just like they're running it down. So they're first not contesting the mid wave against the burn buffed minion wave, which basically means that GAM is just gonna walk down mid lane and tell GE there are two ways this is gonna go. Either one, you're gonna contest us in a bad fight, or two, we're gonna finish the game by running it down mid lane. And GE opts into the bad fight and gets wiped. Like when you see this happening, when you see GAM in mid lane, you should know what's happening. And now Legion is running it.
Why are we... Okay, he just turned and ulted directly into Kadi. I think maybe he thought Slater could join him right there if he got the fear, but ends up not actually working out, as he would have just been jumping likely to his own death as well. So good on Slater to pull that back, but feels like Legion could have just pressed his ultimate the other direction and been out of that situation instead of going back in and looking for more.
No, he had hot date.
I just don't understand this whole game.
Like GE is just outside of Slater. Like Slater has kept them in the game much longer than they should have stayed. And I can see GAM just running into Slater again and losing to Slater another team fight. You know, like GAM isn't playing great. GAM is playing like the minimum amount I would expect from them, and it's more than enough to stomp GE into the ground.
Ooh, okay. BB can't even quite get over the wall. The package there from Blazes if they want to look for a fight right now, because they basically have nothing better to do, so why not fight? As Blazes kind of gets kicked into everybody, GA is actually going to get popped right here by Kiaya, as they're going to turn as much as possible. Slater is getting jumped on by Levi, who's going to do more than enough damage to find Slater on the other side of the fight. Blazes goes down, Coda's going to go down as well. On the top side of the fight, Yijin's going to get brought down as well. It's just BOB left, and if that's not going to be enough to kind of put the final nails in the coffin of this game for the side of GE, I don't know what else GAM could possibly want, right? Like, they've got more than enough to be able to potentially close the game. The only thing they're lacking is minions at this point right now. So maybe that's going to stop them from pure closing the game. Maybe they just have to go for an inhibitor, but it seems like they're just beelining going to end the game anyway. I mean,
Blazes hates winning, that's why he jumps in and dies, and the game's over. GG well played.
Yeah, it felt like a game that GE had within their clutches to start off, because they were just turning this into an absolute, like goon fest as much as possible, and Slater was pulling all these kills, but when push